Today I got a video on giving notice at your work. This is from a viewer. I'm just going to quote them. My issue now, Joe, is I'm starting to look over my shoulder as the date is creeping up behind me. How do you handle this disconnect? Once you tell someone and everyone you're going to retire, you will lose control of everything. You will be pushed aside. I'm wired to work until the last minute with 100% effort, or I won't do it at all. Specific questions. How did you let go? 2, how did you handle being pushed aside when your employees found out you were going? Number 3, when did you start planning for that day? Number 4, how much time did you give your employer and what was their reaction? Great questions. So before we get started, take a second. If this is the second video that you've listened to of mine, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Okay, that's the tuition for the School of Joe here. If it's your first time watching, hey, tell me where you're from. I love hearing that. And if you do like it at the end, subscribe. Okay, let's jump into this. How did you let go? Okay. I thought of this as a vacation. I did change jobs 14 times with the same company, worked the job 3 to 4 years, and then moved on. So moving on was kind of common for me. I thought of it like a vacation. And I delegated. I had a great team of people that I worked around with. So I was working on giving them control of it. And then I just took it one day at a time. One day at a time. Don't think that, boy, I'm never going to work again. And, I had my whole life ahead of me and now I don't. I'm on the downhill slide of life. No, just take one day at a time. One day at a time. About 3 months after you retire, I'm telling you what's going to happen. You will gradually realize you're never going back to work. It'll seem like a vacation for a couple of months. And then, oh my gosh, I'm not going back. And what I mean by that, like when you're on vacation, you still think about work. Oh, wait, when I get back, I'm going to do this. I did that for 3 or 4 months, and that was very typical of the retirees I talked to. So just think of it like a vacation. Treat it like a vacation. I'm going to leave for 2 weeks. I'm going to leave for a week, and you've got to put people in place to handle the issues that you normally addressed. And then it'll just one day at a time morph into you're not coming back. That's how I mentally did it. About feeling pushed aside. I never felt this way. I felt really, truly in my heart, I was passing the baton to the next generation. Me stepping out of a job gave someone else the opportunity. I worked 32 years in this manufacturing with this manufacturing company, not all at the same time in the one plant, most of it in one plant, but not all. But I felt it was somebody else's turn. I was in my low 50s, 54, but there was somebody that ended up taking the job that was in his mid 30s, mid 40s. Was a second candidate was in his mid 40s, and it was their time. I had implemented a lot of things, a lot of changes, a lot of procedures, and I felt good about the changes, but it was time for the next generation. It's time for them to have the opportunity, just like somebody gave you the opportunity in this job several years ago. You can now become a coach, just like many sports athletes, they retire and become a coach. You still don't have to completely disengage from the business world. You can become a mentor. You can work at universities and be a guest speaker coming in. You can be a paid consultant if that's something you want to do. You got to work to limit your time. You can go part-time if you want to, one day a week on something to help transition over a longer period of time, make a little money along the way. But you're transitioning to more of a coach mentor role. This is the way things are supposed to be. You've done your time. It's time to step aside and let others have the role that you had. I think it's great. I feel good about doing that. When did I start planning? Well, this was not hard for me. Like I said, I changed jobs 14 times in my career. I always looked at a job like it's better than what I found it. It's better than what I found it. It's not perfect, but it's better than what I found it. The trap here is wanting to get a project done, wanting to get everything all caught up, and you keep working one more year and you delay retirement. That's the trap I've seen people fall into. So I treated it like, hey, wherever point in time, say it's March 1 that I'm leaving, that's the date I'm leaving. Wherever projects are in their status, that's where I'm leaving. And I hand it to the next athlete to take over from me, just like a relay race. Okay. You can't just keep running the relay race. You got to hand the baton to someone else, let them do it, let them thrive and shine. Okay. Like I said, this is a factor a lot of people trip over, and it always leads to one more year. I'm not done. I'm too valuable. The cemetery is full of irreplaceable people. I like that kind of quote. That's sobering, but you need to take that to heart if you think only you can do this job at your level of performance. How much notice did I give? Well, I had a special story. I'll see if I can find my previous video on giving notice, but I gave 2 weeks notice, and that was the company's fault. I had intended on giving much more, but I gave 2 weeks notice because I was asked to do a few things that challenged my ethics and morals. Nothing illegal or anything like that, but they wanted to go a certain direction that I wasn't willing to stand up in front of people and say, this is what we're doing. It was against everything I've been talking about and implementing for years and getting dramatic results. And so I said, here's my 2 weeks notice. I later came back and we negotiated 2 months, which was fine. But I quickly, I'm telling you, within hours, like 8, named an interim. I named somebody that was taking my role in an interim fashion. It's not, I wasn't giving them the job permanently, but it was their job to lose. It was somebody that had high potential. I thought a lot of, they knew what I was working on. I gave them the assignment, and then I stepped away. So you could say I gave 2 months notice, but I stepped out of the job and hung around for 2 months for questions if this person had any. But I named an interim and just stepped away. And I think that is the best way to retire. I was there for behind the scenes for questions, but I was not, I did not, I stopped attending meetings, stopped everything. I was there if the person had questions, needed guidance, wanted to get an update, wanted to run an idea by me. I said, this is your plant, you do it. Okay. But here's what you think about. Here's what I would do. You do what you want. That's not necessarily right. But I stepped out of the role immediately. And I loved it. I'd do that again and highly recommended that. Now, when you're talking about giving notice, you got to be aware of several other things, upcoming bonuses. Okay. So if you got a bonus that's paid out on January 15th, you don't want to give notice on January 10th because you'll get shorted on your bonus. I'm telling you, bonus is about motivating your longer term employees. Believe me, you'll get shorted a little bit. Don't think that won't happen. Be aware of upcoming bonuses. Also interesting assignments. Say you're getting ready to go on a 3-day assignment that you really are looking forward to. Maybe it involves some travel, meeting some people. You don't want to give notice right before that because you want to go on that. Okay, I'm being a little selfish here. Also think about health insurance, company expectations. Maybe your company pays a bonus. Ours did. We gave $500 to people that gave 6 months notice or something like that. So you may consider that, see if there's anything like that out there. Also vesting of your, 401k match or anything like that. So be aware of those things. Also, when you're looking at time of the year, look at any tax impact of when you're leaving. If you leave at the very beginning of the year and then you're living off your investments, you may have an opportunity to do Roth conversions or something creative like that to manage taxes in that year. Don't burn any bridges. Don't give a short notice of 2 weeks if it's going to aggravate everybody and they never want to see you again, because you may want to come back part-time in the future. You never know. You don't know about the future, so don't. This is the time to go out on the high ground. Be respectful, thank everybody, shake hands, even if it wasn't a great departure, the great experience, wherever you're at, take the high ground on the way out. You never know when they may want to talk to you about mentoring somebody, coaching somebody, working 1 day a week or something like that. But again, my last note is don't fall in the trap of waiting till a project is done. This is what your company, good chance, if they love you, they'll say, why don't you wait till this project is done? It's going to be done in June. Well, June turns into July, which turns into August. And then we have some problems with the deployment of this project, and it's September. Well, why don't you just stay to the end of the year and get the end of the year bonus? Be careful of that. The other trap I see people get into is they're looking for a round number of years of service to retire at. I want to get to 30 years. I want to get to 35. I want to get to 40 years. I retired at 32 in 2 months. I'm telling you, 5 years after you retire, you'll be happy you retired as early as possible. That's my take. Be happy you retired as early as possible. Whether I work 32 years or 35 years or 30 or 40, I really don't care. And as the years go by, it means less and less and less. I did like my career a lot. I said I loved my career. I wouldn't change anything about it. But it was time for me to transition to something new. And retirement is not the end of the journey, and it's not the pasture. It's not sit around on the beach every day. It's not lay on the couch and watch TV. It's a brand new journey that you create. I loved it. It's Joe out.